Good evening, and welcome to Hanging with the Walkers. Here with my host and co-host, Rogers Walker.
Greetings, my brothers and sisters. Greetings.
Good evening, good evening, good evening, everyone. Welcome to another wonderful section of Hanging with the Walkers. We're so excited to be in your homes, in your cars, on your cell phones. You may be at work in the break room, hiding in a room. You may be power walking or just exercising, getting ready for your dinner. But thank you so much for welcoming us again into your homes, into your hearts. We are so excited to get into the show on tonight. We have a beautiful young woman that we met in the Fort Myers area, and we were so excited to touch base with her and get to know her so that you will see who it is that we have fell in love with and want to introduce to our audience. Her name is Tashawna Gaines, and she is CEO of Great Gaines LLC. Welcome to Hanging with the Walkers.
Thank you. Thank you. Happy to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
Oh, I'm so excited to have you here and that beautiful smile to light up our cameras and the homes of those that are tapping in on tonight. Please tell us about you, any information that you want to share at this point.
Okay. Well, good evening. So I'm actually new to the Florida area. I come to Florida just a little over a year ago. March was a year for me from Baltimore, Maryland. And so there in Baltimore, I had a over 24-year career in law enforcement there. I was a sergeant with the Baltimore City Police Department. Later, I went into the university setting as a police lieutenant at Morgan State University prior to moving to Florida and taking on another position in public safety and emergency management. I am a mother. I have a young man son. You have to say that because sometimes when I say I have a son, people are like, okay, they're talking and can we get a play date and go to the playground and everything? And I'm like, my son is a young man. He's 28 years old. He'll be 29 this year. So he is, I have also was in the military. First, I started out in the Army, but I did a majority of my career in the Navy. Just kind of wanted a different quality of life, so went in the Navy. So my son is also a legacy. He's in the Navy. He's serving in Georgia right now, just a little bit over the Florida-Georgia line. So we're a lot closer in proximity now. Moved here to Fort Myers took a job offer here in public safety. I am an emergency manager for a healthcare system. So I oversee the crisis and disaster preparedness and response for the health system. So still in public safety. So that's what brought me here to Florida, and just really enjoying my time, starting to meet and connect with people in the community, such as yourself, and just getting acclimated to what I call now down here, this is real life Jurassic Park around here. Florida is Jurassic Park.
You have to tell us why you say Jurassic Park. Why did you pick that?
So when I moved here, everyone was like, okay, just giving me their tips and everything. And the one biggest thing, I was like, I do not want to see an alligator outside of a zoo setting. And I know there are a plethora of them around here in Florida. And so the first thing we're like, well, if you see a body of water, just know that there's an alligator or a gator, swamp puppy in that water, right? So as I've been living here over the course of the last year, thankfully, I've only seen alligator videos and, I'm watching them. I live downtown Fort Myers, so I'm trying to stay away from bodies of water. I'll take the concrete jungle any day. So I'm heeding to all the advice that I got from the, Floridians when I first moved down here. But in between all of the wildlife that's around here, the lizards, the no-see-ums, the mosquitoes, it's crazy. I have a little bit of every kind of thing down here. So that's why I call it, this is real life Jurassic Park, because you just really develop. You got pythons and snakes and alligators and bears and all kinds of stuff. So yeah,
we heard a lot of things.
We never heard that one.
We never heard
Well, see, you guys are born and raised here, so you're appreciate it. I'm an outsider. I'm an out of towner. So coming down and not being used to, seeing all of this kind of wildlife you have down here, it's a bit different. So
She say wildlife.
Yeah.
Well, if we take you to Fort Pierce for you to see the lizards that are crawling across the beach, you think they were baby dinosaurs.
oh my goodness, that's
They
like
are,
Jurassic Park.
yes, yes, they are bigger than the ones that are here, and we are Floridians, and we run from those because we
Oh
don't
my
know
goodness.
where they migrated from. But they are some
Yes.
huge
Oh my
lizards.
goodness.
Iguanas.
Mhm.
Baby iguanas. Oh my God!
Yeah,
If
and I
you
haven't
just
seen any of them falling out of trees where I'm at, so I'm
okay, okay,
I'm good right now. I've been here over a year, and I've been good. It's just been videos
wow.
and conversations.
Listen, if you just tapped on, just understand and know that you will be fascinated by the conversation we just had with Tashawna James. You got to go back and Gaines. You got to go back and see the beginning of the video. Um, Welcome to Florida,
Thank you.
Jurassic,
Yeah.
aka Jurassic
Jurassic Park.
Park. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. It's a first for everything. But I am so fascinated by all of the things that you have done and accomplished to be
Mhm.
a young woman and then a young black woman on top of that, as far as the military is concerned and your career, and you're still smiling. You're not bitter. You're not angry. I'll say on the outside, you're not shell shot or anything like that. You got to tell us how you made it through that
So
time.
I think I attribute a lot of my ability to be flexible and adaptable to the military because being stationed and living in different towns and different cities and being around different people, you just kind of that comes with the culture, right?
Mhm,
And
mhm.
so I've always I love to travel. I love to meet new people, get new experiences. I mean, what like I live in Florida now. I live where people pay to come and vacation and the sun
Yes.
is shining and it's warm. And even though I born and raised up north in different climates we have up there, I'm a summertime girl. I'll take summertime all the time. So
Mhm.
this is just my cup of tea, kind of being in this weather in this warm climate. So that just makes me happy in itself. So I'm down here enjoying resort living every day because this is just the Florida way I feel like now. This is my
That's
life.
it. That's it.
So yeah, so I just think I attribute a lot of my adaptability to just being in the military. I'm really a social person. I like to meet people. I like to engage in different conversations. I'm fascinated with people's stories and everything. So I guess I would have to attribute my ability to adapt to that culture and just my career and service time during in the military.
Gotcha, gotcha. Because like I say, that's a lot of years, and you say 24 years as a sergeant and then lieutenant, but you aged well. You aged like fine wine because you
Thank
don't look like what you've been through.
For sure. Thank you.
I never would have guessed it. I promise you, I never would guess. And I'm not just saying that just to say it.
Right, right.
I
I
never
get
would have
I
guessed
get
it.
I get that often, and it is truly really a testament that what you go through does build character, and
Mhm.
we don't like those bad experiences that sometimes we would not choose for ourselves. And so I just feel like some things are unavoidable. We don't have any control over our external environment. All we can do is adapt to what happens to us. Reframe the situation and not stay in certain emotions or places long. So that's just a choice that's purposely done by me, and that's just how I've learned to kind of manage and adapt to different challenges that I faced.
Okay. And then having the smile that you have, did you have a hard time with the males while you were in the military?
I mean, some things just come with the territory,
Gotcha.
and the saying guys are going to be guys, and that's true, to a certain extent. And we've all gone through our different kind of maturity phases, and myself included. So there was a time that I was enjoying and entertaining whatever I liked, and then you get into a phase in your life where you become more serious about yourself, your journey, what you're looking for in a relationship. So me personally, I have enjoyed my singleness for some time now. I was previously married to my son's father, married at a very young age, but
Mm-hmm.
I would not recommend that. We were married at 19 and 20. But again, a lot of that kind of is crafted by like me going into the military. And so your family can't travel with you as a single parent. My
Mm-hmm.
son wouldn't be able, so kind of wanting to have your family with you, my son with
Mm-hmm.
me, and so at a young age, I was married. So been through the marriage, been through the divorce, and just processing all of that in life. And I truly can say at the place I'm at now, I really enjoy my singleness, and
Okay.
I enjoy my friends and friendships. And that's just the place I'm at right now. And I'm content and happy with that part.
Wow, you can tell that.
Hmm.
So being law enforcement for 20 plus years,
Hmm.
what were some of the challenges that you had during your 24 years as law enforcement?
Good. And you asked me a question, and I'm just coming out of this semester, taking a class where we really kind of, studied those things and really took a deep dive. And one of the things that I can say, being in that atmosphere, is that um, policing as a structure, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is developed out of an oppressive system to our people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Black
Mm-hmm.
people. And so, kind of reflecting that, you go into a career, right?
Mm-hmm.
Needed a job. Policing was not something that I was like, oh, gosh, I want to be a police officer all my life, and this is the route that I'm going. Honestly, I got out of military. I needed a job. I was looking for employment. When I did get out the military and went to Baltimore, I saw faces that looked like mine. I saw women that looked like me in that profession. And that is what really, excuse me, that's what really, sorry about that,
Mm-hmm.
kind of propelled me into that career.
Mm-hmm.
So some of the challenges is just kind of, understanding the system in which you operate. You go in, I was 21 when I started my career in law enforcement. So just
Wow.
very kind of green, not knowing a lot about the ins and out of the of policing in our communities, and just wanting to make a difference, right? Because the only way we
Yes.
can change the structural kind of system is that we have people that look like us, that
Mm-hmm.
represent us, working from the inside out.
Mm-hmm.
So initially, that was how I was driven. That was my goal, is to go in. I saw people that looked like me. I could work in a community of very varying economic statuses, right? Like, that's the reason I loved living in Maryland, especially in Baltimore, because you don't just see like our people struggling. You see our
Mm-hmm.
people succeeding. You see our people educated.
Nice.
You see our
Nice.
people working in different professions. And so that was very encouraging for me. And so I was like, hey, I want to be a part of this community. I want to make a difference. And then once I got into policing, I learned that I could work in different capacities, right? It's a job where you didn't have to bounce around, and you could, work on your retirement and work on longevity, and just do different things. Um, you know, the first couple years, of course, like I said, just kind of very green. And then you move into, you see some things that just don't set right with you.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
And you can speak up, and you speak up about those things. Really, for me, when I got promoted is when I really had the ability to actually make a difference, because I was working in capacities where I could write policy. I was working in capacities where I was training.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually mentoring and molding and crafting other officers. So
Mm-hmm.
um, the things that I saw that I didn't particularly like in the system, once I got into a position where I could start making changes,
Mm-hmm.
is actually what I did. So
That's awesome. That's awesome. And so professional and very well put, very well explained and described without throwing folk under a bus, without sarcasm, without
Of course.
throwing darts.
Yeah. I
So
mean,
listen.
it's a necessary profession, right? We all want our safety, and everybody wants to be safe, right?
Mhm,
In our
mhm.
communities. And we know it's historically been an issue for our community. Policing is an issue for our community. And,
Yes.
we just, and even from an educational standpoint, I'm working on my PhD right now in higher education administration. And
Mhm.
one of the projects that I did for an assignment in a diversity class that I took is coming from that background in policing. I noticed that, well, when we go through the police academy and we're learning about the history of policing, they start with the era of Sir Robert Peel, which is
Uh-huh.
like the 1800s, right?
Uh-huh.
And
Uh-huh.
there was nobody policing still that looked like us, or they were accepting of us in those capacities. So what I did was I created and crafted kind of like a professional development program for
Oh
people who
wow.
are not used to policing Black and Brown communities, to
Mhm.
take them a little bit further to understand why when you go into a Black community, it's not good to use the language, call somebody a boy,
Right.
and certain things that they may not have been exposed to. So, policing started back in with the slave patrol,
Yes.
that's where policing started. And just
Mhm.
throughout the different eras, it's just graduated into the modern day policing that we see now. And so you have to teach history and you have to understand that, when we're going into these professions in these communities. So that's one kind of little piece of thing I tried to do, and making a difference from my lane and what I can contribute to making that profession and community better.
Wow. That's good. 'Cause like you say, regardless to what you go through and what you see from my point forward, I want to make it better. I want to help you make it better. I don't
Hmm.
want you to see anything negative. I want you to be productive about it. So in order for me to do that, I have to portray that. And if we could just teach the younger generation coming behind us, bitter is not always better.
Hmm.
We get angry about things, what we see, how we treat it, how we disrespect it. But there's a way to get anything done.
Yeah.
And as you said, getting your foot in the door, being able to make changes when I get there is
When we're
what.
all young, I believe we have that that firecracker, that drive in us to try to change systems, right? And
Mhm.
systems, and if you know anything about systems and culture, that just doesn't change overnight, right?
Mhm.
And systems will eat an individual, up. It takes a massaging, it takes a slow kind of evolving process to break down those things. And if you get a understanding of that, a better understanding of that it doesn't necessarily happen very quickly, which is unfortunate. But you have to put yourself in positions within those mechanisms to be effective in changing them.
That's nice. That's nice. And I thank you for that. I appreciate and respect that about you also. Definitely carry yourself well. Like I say, not a broken, battered single woman, but definitely a professional woman that has what I need and what I want and desire before me. So I have no reason to be bitter, angry, and sad. So thank you for that. And then I wanted to get into your business, Great Gains LLC. Please tell us about that.
So that's another kind of learning point, right?
Mhm.
So of course, not a lot of our people in my family, nobody really had businesses. They were starting, or even to educate me in that direction. So I started my business, Great Gains LLC, in 2015.
Mhm.
Um, it first was initially an umbrella for me. I ran a security business back in Baltimore, where I had a private security business and did some security locally in the Baltimore metro area. And so just different ventures that I have, decided to pursue. Creating that LLC, I'm able to pull those ventures under my LLC as a business person. And we all, I hope learned that, it's helpful to have a business and work under a business when you're filing your taxes, and especially when I have a grown son, so I don't have any of those write-offs that, help us in the different tax brackets. So if you have a skill, you have a trade, you have a craft, one of the things you should be encouraged to do is to start a business for yourself so that you can
Hmm.
take advantage of some of those write-offs and some of those things that status affords you. So that was a huge, and somebody mentored and talked to me about starting, a business and just doing different ventures that I'm skilled in under that business. So I've done a security business when I was back in Baltimore. On the side, I also ran a mobile. We had a hookah service business that I did under that as well, for our tailgating at the Ravens Stadium. And now, most recently, I have started put my DJ business hobby under my LLC. And again, with my career in media, also being a business and a brand provided me the mechanism to write off a lot of my costs associated with having to buy clothes for work, having to do hair and makeup constantly, having to,
Hmm.
have all of those things from my profession. So, yeah, it was definitely an advantage for starting my LLC.
That's nice. So it's like a security, like an umbrella company for security.
So for security, for different, so the LLC, I did that so that I could do different ventures under the LLC. So
Okay.
one of those ventures was my security business.
Okay. So now under Great Gains, they'll be able to access security, and then what else?
Oh, so no, I'm not. So since moving to Florida, I am no longer there in Maryland. So I'm not running my security business
Gotcha.
out of Maryland while I'm here in Florida. So right now, it's just a personal brand and branding my DJ services under my LLC.
Okay. Okay. And then of course your handle as a DJ is what? What do you call yourself?
So DJ Trouble T.
All right, all
And
right.
that was a spinoff of just in working. My colleagues and friends, they would always come up to me and like, "What's up, Trouble? What's up, Trouble?" And so when I was thinking of, okay, I need a name and something like catchy and something I'm used to, and that's where that came from.
So we're gonna have DJ Skinny to have you show us a little bit something for Juneteenth.
Right. I'm networking and making some connections around here with some of the local DJs. So,
Gotcha.
yeah, yeah, definitely. I'm brand new to it, so I'm still very much in the development and working and honing in on my skills phase. So,
All
yeah,
right, all right, all right.
yeah,
We're gonna check you out in a couple of weeks.
yeah. It's definitely been something that I've always been interested in. One of my degrees is I have a bachelor's degree in communication, so
Mhm.
specifically in electronic media and film. So a part of
Oh,
that was radio and production in the studio. So I just never really got to actually doing the DJ part of it, before I got drawn into my news career.
wow.
Awesome, awesome.
I'm just so well rounded. I keep saying that over and over again. Just so well rounded from a young woman to the military career, being married, being a mom, being able to do all of that and still just hold it together. I am just, I keep saying it over and over again. I am just amazed. Um,
And there's a road and a journey to all of it, right? I'm
yes,
not gonna sit here and be like there hasn't been tough times or low times, or but there's peaks and valleys in life. So
yes.
and again, it's just a personal choice of my own. When I am in those valleys, I try my best not to stay in those low places for too long, and I try to process the experience so that I can redirect that energy.
Gotcha.
I far more like being on the jovial, jolly, happy side than,
Hey, that's
being
the side
down,
that we on. All about positivity. All about that. That is
right,
it.
just being down in the
That is
dumps.
it. This journey we call life, you know what I mean? It did us some good and did us some bad, you
Oh,
Yes.
for
know. But
sure.
I truly
Yeah,
believe that it give us more good than it give us bad.
for
That's
sure.
true.
So yeah.
Right.
So where's mom and dad?
So my family is still back up north. So Maryland and Delaware. So I have family in Maryland, and then I have family on the Delaware Eastern Shore. So
Hmm.
that's where majority of my family is still. My mom, my dad, brothers, everybody else. Only people down south here so far are me and my son.
Oh my goodness.
So how was it? So how long did it take you to make the decision? You know what? I'm going to Florida. I'm gonna take this opportunity.
So
And,
the
and how did it?
opportunity,
And how did the family react towards that?
well,
Migrating away.
yeah. So it was kind of really fast happening. So my boss was one of my mentors, and so we had met several years, probably back in 2019 at a conference in Canada, and so we just remain in touch, and just throughout the couple of years. And then after Ian, she had a position that came open for emergency management. And I had just started kind of pursuing professional development in that area. And from us just staying in touch, she knew that. And so she reached out to me and she says, "Hey, I have this opportunity. I know that you are moving in this direction with your professional development. Would you be interested?" And I'm like, "Where are you at?" And so she was like, "Fort Myers, Cape Coral." I'm like, "Okay, let me go check a map
Right,
and see
right.
what that is." Because while I've been to Florida several times, it was vacationing on the East Coast. So I didn't know much of anything about the West Coast of Florida until
Hmm.
this job offer came. So I think I started the interview process in December. And by March 15th of 2023 was my start date. So
Oh
um,
wow.
yeah, so it was pretty quick when they offered me the position. I think it was like February the 10th. I had to come down here and kind of do some processing and orientation stuff. So when she contacted me and we talked about the position and talked about the needs and kind of the direction that I was going, I knew, that if I was selected, that I was going to come here. So I don't think it was a hard decision. And I'm kind of like the person, I process a lot for myself before I go in and talk to my family and friends, because sometimes I'm just informing them because they'll be like, "Oh, we don't want you to move to Florida. We don't want you to be
Right,
so
right.
far away." You have to really take time and understand things for yourself, right? And because you got to pay your bills. Ain't nobody's offering to
Right.
retire me early and pay my bills. So I had to really kind of process that myself. And then I did talk to my family, about it, but it was more from a informing aspect versus
Gotcha.
I wanted, give me your input because it's going to kind of
Right.
change the trajectory of things. And, it wasn't going to do that for me.
Well, the thing about it is, like you say, you went to the military at a young age.
Mhm.
So they were already kind of like used to you being off and being away.
Yeah.
So then, okay, I'm going to Florida where I've already been away and I've already did my tour and whatnot. So listen, that's just a part of my growing, part of my extension of my life. So I'm going to Florida, right?
Right. Right.
I think the only time that Florida is probably a lot closer in proximity, even though it's about 15 hours away. I, my mom did when I moved to California once. And when I moved to California, that was a little bit too far for my mom. And so she wasn't happy initially with with that. But she knows with any kind of move or change that I'm going to make, that I'm making sure I have, certain things in place where I'm absolutely able to take care of myself.
That's
And
it.
so, while she was upset for a couple of months, she came around.
Oh, bless her
It
heart. I know that was kind of hard. Like you
was,
said,
it was.
are you the only girl?
So, of my siblings, I am the oldest, and I actually come from a family where I am adopted within my family. Um,
Okay.
so my birth mother had me at a very young age. She was 15 when she had me. And
Hmm.
so, of course, the grandparents got together and, she had to finish school. And so my mom, who actually adopted and raised me, is my biological mother's cousin. Um,
Okay.
yeah, so when I speak about my mom, it's my mother that raised me.
Uh-huh.
Um, so yeah, yep.
Understandable. Understandable.
Wow. Still, again, I commend and applaud you. Um, Still another, I wouldn't call it a hurdle. Still another, yet another test,
Mhm.
a another thing that we deal with, and we just keep going. We don't let it slow us down. We don't have meltdowns. And I just went through something a couple of years ago, and my husband still smile at me when I talk about it. To find out that my dad changed his name, and what he married my mom with was not his name. So
Oh wow.
trying to find out who they were and who we were. And as you said, when you go through things like that, it matters how you go through,
Hmm.
because if you're not careful, you'll stay there.
Right.
Instead of growing and going, you'll just stop and back up, because
Hmm.
then you're having a meltdown and trying to figure out why did it happen, and why didn't he say this, because he was military also. Went
Okay.
in at a young age, and the name that he was born and raised with, he changed and went in the military under another name.
Oh, okay.
So he was 100 when
That's
he
a lot to
passed.
unpack there. That's a lot to unpack when you find,
Yes.
yeah, for sure.
That's it. So he went into the military. His whole life, he died at 100 years old.
Oh
His
wow.
whole life was under a name that he created that was not his family name.
Right. Oh
So,
wow.
like you say, trying to deal with that emotionally, but you can't stay there,
Right.
because that was a decision that he made.
Right.
Did it affect us? No, because we were still the name that he gave us. Was it legal? I'm sure it wasn't.
Well, I don't think any of us, even like, my last name, and again, being in school and everything, you learn about history, and Gaines is not an African name, it's not of my ancestry. So we're
That's
all
it.
walking around with, pretty much aliases anyway.
That's it. That's
The
it. And
vast
my
majority.
main name is Mechanic, like auto mechanic.
Okay.
That's not
No.
that's not a native name. I don't
Right.
even know where that came from. Somebody asked me that the other day, where did that name come from? But he's from Carolina, so I don't know,
Mhm.
because that
Yeah.
wasn't really his name. So
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't want to do research on it because it would have been unnecessary.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
And
you
I
say,
mean, that's
just
the whole thing with your identity. So, if you're not ready to
yes,
unpack all of that and
that's it.
go there, then, you
That's
have to do
it.
that in your own time.
That's what you have to do. And like you say, just keep going. Just don't look back. Don't stay there.
Mhm.
Every hurdle that you come across, it matters. My husband said all the time, it matters how you go through it. If you get there to that bump in the road and you stay there, you may never get to where it is that you really needed to be,
Mhm.
because you're dwelling on the past.
That's right.
And the past can't do anything for us except hinder us. So, like I say, I applaud you in a whole lot of ways, and
Thank you.
shout out to you for your anchor, being an anchor,
Mhm.
like on the big screen.
Yeah. So, well, a small town. It was
Right.
a small town on the eastern shore of Maryland.
Uh-huh.
And so again, just something I started in community college when I had got out of high school, in journalism. Actually, that was the chosen career that I wanted to pursue.
Hmm.
And so, just didn't get to finish that and ended up going into the military because I had my son when I was 18. So,
Hmm.
had a family, a child to take care of, and, needed to make money. So went into the military, and then several years later, as I'm fully in my career in the military, I decided to go back to school and finish that degree I had started in community college. So That's when I went back and got my communications degree. So have a bachelor's degree in criminal justice, which I got from being in the police department. And then I also have a bachelor's degree in communication. And so that's how I kind of started the path of working in television and radio. And actually, the kind of nexus for that was, if you remember, in 2015, we had the riots in
Yes.
Baltimore City, and
Yes.
so a lot of my colleagues and friends were hurt really bad in the riots, and that was a kind of a time that really compelled us all to think, is this what we want to continue to do for our careers, for our families, and things of that such. So for me, that was the period where I went out of law enforcement and started my career in television. And so
Gotcha.
the painful part of that was that I took a severe pay cut, a salary cut.
Wow.
So I have been in my profession for quite some time, and I was like, okay, I have a plan. I'm going to go do this new career, and in 3 years, I'll get into this market where the money's going to be what I'm comfortable with. And
Mhm.
so starting out in a new profession, you're not going to start at the top. You're going to have
No.
to earn your keep, and part of that is the salary portion.
Yes.
And so for me, just being in the market that I was in, it just wasn't going to bring me to the salary point that I needed to be.
Mhm.
And so then I made the decision to move back to Baltimore. And I did go back into law enforcement, but I did radio news part time on the side, like on weekends. I did radio news anchoring.
Gotcha.
Hmm.
That's all right. That is awesome. So, if you're just joining us, just know that we are here with definitely the one and only Tashawna Gaines, CEO of her own company, Great Gaines LLC, DJ, Navy vet, mom, working on a PhD, past sergeant, bachelor's degree in media and criminal justice. Been there, done that. Can write a book about it. Just hadn't done it yet. And then a 28-year-old, and then there again, you cannot look at you and see that you have a 28-year-old. If you didn't tell someone that, they would never know
And I
And she
get that
breaking out.
often.
it. And she doing what?
And she breaking out with her
Come
DJ
on,
Trouble T.
keep DJ Trouble
She
T.
got tickets on sale. I gotta check her out this couple of weeks in Fort Myers, Florida.
Oh my goodness! And I see you reached back to one of your friends to help you with the DJ. I saw that on your
Oh,
page.
yes. So my friend, he's actually been in the DJ game for 30, 40 years now.
Okay,
And we
okay,
actually met on deployment. We were deployed over in the Middle East together. And so how we met was that so I am a member. I have not demitted anywhere, so I'm not actually practicing right now, but I am a member of the Eastern Star. And so when we crossed over in my
mhm,
chapter
mhm.
in the Middle East, he DJ'd our party that we had. And so I met him on deployment. He was in the Army, I was in the Navy, but we were stationed at the same base. In the Middle East. And so we've just maintained contact through social media throughout the years. And so when I actually started, doing my DJ, it's important. Mentors are important to me. I think they are
Yes,
so important in
yes.
kind of any kind of lane you're trying to pursue. And so I was like, let me reach out to him and see if he
Mhm.
would be open to mentoring me through my journey and trying to get back into, or actually get into DJing. And he was like, absolutely, like 100%. And so he is actually in Tampa. And so that's when we were talking about our locations, I just had visited him in Tampa. So that was kind of my first time visiting up there. And he, took him and his wife took me around to, see the area since I'm still newly to Florida.
Yes.
That's
Hmm.
awesome.
And
Yeah.
then even a smile and a glow when you talk about DJing.
Mhm.
Now
It's
that's
exciting. I mean, it's hard now. It's definitely a skill that you have to really, really work on, and there's a lot of pieces to that. But It's exciting. I'm excited for the vision I have for myself and, for what's to come. So yeah, I'm in here putting in work, and eventually it's all gonna come together.
So you have more respect for DJ
Oh,
Skinny
for
now, huh?
sure. Oh, for sure. Like for sure.
There's a what was the young lady name? Lee Pitts told, shout out to Lee Pitts, CEO of Lee Pitts Live After Work. But there is a young lady that was his first DJ. Do you remember her
So
name?
it might be Shorty Doo-Wop.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay,
Shorty
so
Doo.
she's one of my mentors too.
Okay, okay.
I've been working with her and doing some private sessions with her,
Uh-huh.
mentoring. So just picking the brains of the vets out here that are doing it, that can teach me, and I'm observing them so that I can kind of craft my style,
Mhm.
to DJing. So yeah, it's good to get like, different, learning different techniques from different people. And especially
Yes.
it's different being a female in
Right.
DJing than,
Right.
being a male in the game.
Where he was introduced her, and he let us know at one of the Lee Pitts Live After Work that she was his first DJ.
Okay, great.
And so, out of respect and honor, one night she was there, and she DJ'd along with DJ Skinny. He stepped
Uh-huh.
away from the turntable. I think you were there.
So I don't think I was there for her. I have seen DJ Skinny a couple of times that I've been to the live after work.
Uh-huh.
And so when I actually first announced on my social media, Lee was like, "Yeah, you're gonna have to come and DJ." And I'm like, "Wait a minute, I'm not there yet. I gotta
Not
get some
yet.
practice in." I said, I'm not ready for any events right now. So I'm just practicing on my friends. And so when we have little get-togethers at their house, I'll start doing stuff in front of my friends and friendly crowds, because you don't want to get out there and they be like, "Oh my gosh,
We
what's
will.
what's going on?" So I want to make sure I'm ready before I jump out there. So right
That's
now,
it.
my friends, I've told them, I'm like, "You guys are my subjects." So whenever we have get-togethers, I have get-togethers at my house. I'm jumping on my mixer. I'm DJing. We're doing karaoke and doing some different games and stuff that I'm going to be adding to my business as well.
Gotcha, gotcha.
Mhm.
And I saw that adult Easter egg hunt that you
Yes.
housed.
Yes. So two things I like entertaining and hosting my family and friends,
Mhm.
mostly. And so there's two things that I would always host. And so one is my annual adult Easter egg hunt, because
Mhm.
I've raised my son, and so I watch my friends and family. They have small kids, so I like to kind of do things where they can escape and they can have a good time and relax. So one of the things I would do is the week before Easter, on a Saturday, I would host an adult Easter egg hunt and wine tasting event in
I
my
saw
backyard.
that.
And then my birthday is right before Halloween. And
Uh-huh.
so Halloween is one of my, you know, favorite holidays. We can, dress up. And so that's another event that I would do annually at my house. It was slash my birthday party, but it would be a costume party as well.
Gotcha. I saw that on your page. I said, "Oh my goodness, I can't even imagine an adult Easter egg hunt
Oh,
along with a wine tasting." I know
it
that
is
was
a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. And a shout out to my family and friends who are always down for my shenanigans, because I'm creating experiences and they are always down for it. So we have a we
oh
have
my
a
goodness.
we have
I
a
can't
good
even
time.
imagine. I was saying to myself, if we'd have been to something like that with the wine tasting, even though we don't drink, it's just the thought of it rolling down the side of this and rolling down the side of that, trying to
Oh, like,
find
let me
Easter
tell
egg.
you, like the adults, they are big kids, and like it's the time. Of course, we have all kinds of goodies in the eggs. Of course, there's candy.
Yes.
There's money in the eggs to be found, and so we have the golden egg. And when you say go, and they're trying to find their eggs and stuff, it's a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. So yeah, they really enjoyed it.
I hope we consider friends now.
For sure. Like I'm definitely expanding my friends and my networks down here. And like I said, the people that I have met, such as yourself, they have been great, so welcoming, so warming,
Yes.
made me feel, welcome down here. Now I will say one thing: when I first moved down here, moving from Baltimore, in which, Baltimore is called Chocolate City for a reason. It's a lot of us
Okay.
there. And so when
Okay.
I moved down here, I just couldn't find us at first. I couldn't. I
Right.
was like,
Right.
"Where's my people at?" And I need community to recharge and to connect and just assimilate. So in my circles at work and where I was and where I live, I wasn't necessarily connecting with our community, with our people. So actually how I started connecting was actually attending the Lee Pitts Live event because I had
Okay.
met someone and they said, "Hey, if you're looking to connect with people in our community, this event is one that people come out
Yes.
in the community and they attend." And so when I went there, the first two people that I met when I moved here was Tisha and Toya,
Gotcha.
and they were again so welcoming,
Hmm.
so nice, and just kind of started connecting me, inviting me out, and I just started meeting people and building my network. So I'm
That's
very
it.
grateful for the people that I have met since I've been down here.
That's it. That's it. And
That's
then
awesome.
CC said the same thing. CC Sepulveda
Hmm.
looking for some of us. And sadly enough, story still is the same. It still extends from you all to us. When we moved to Wamama, where we are, we were looking around for folk that looked like us. We
Hmm.
saw Spanish, but we didn't see any of us. And my greatest letdown was Martin Luther King Day. Like, okay, so where's the parade? Where's the shenanigans? Where do we hang out at? Where do we
Right.
go? And
Yeah.
still trying to build that up
Right.
in this
Area.
city. Yeah. So
Hmm.
we have to go to Tampa. We have to go to St. Petersburg.
Hmm.
Fort Myers.
Yeah, Fort
Yeah.
Myers. They haven't got the memo yet that we're here.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm not sure. I've been trying to think to myself how to get it stirred and
Now
started.
I did. So one thing I was very fascinated by when I moved down here with Fort Myers is how they do Easter. And so
Yes,
I have not lived anywhere that, Easter is such a big event as
it
it was
is.
in Myers. And so last year when I had first moved here, I missed the Easter parade that year. And
Hmm.
so like you said, you were looking forward to some way to connect. So
Right,
my next holiday that I was looking forward to connecting with community down here was Juneteenth. And
right.
so that was a bit disappointing that year because what I've come to learn now is that that's just starting to get momentum as far as like
Right. Right.
celebration and
Exactly.
things of that sort. So yeah, my expectation was a little higher than kind of where the movement was at then.
Yes.
But like I said, going to the Lee Pitts Live, and then I got to go to the Easter parade this year, and I was like, oh, it's plenty of people around here. Like I was just like, oh my, okay. Like it was a
Yes.
great time and just really seeing our community and seeing us out there in numbers and just the whole Easter energy that Fort Myers puts out. Like I have never experienced anything like that before. So it was just great.
And then to see them go all out. Not
Hmm.
only do they go all out, but they have a committee that actually starts early trying to put this together.
I'm sure it's a lot of work.
Yes, yes. And they start early. They start the year before,
Yeah.
trying to get it straight so that they can actually have this. What's the? It's a committee. He actually brought them up on stage, the Dunbar Committee,
Yes. Hmm.
and the Dunbar Committee gives them all kind of directions as to what, where, and how. The Juneteenth, the MLK Day, all of those big festivities in Fort Myers. It's them that actually puts it together, and I honor that. I
That's
respect that.
awesome. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's very awesome because it's not an easy lift to put those types of events together.
that's
That's a lot.
it. That's it. I love it. I love it. So, what do you have for Miss Gaines?
Well, just so grateful to have a strong black queen that has not stopped moving forward
That's
in
it.
her walk,
Hmm.
Hmm.
and to allow others to glean from that. Because in Fort Myers and at Lee Pitt, the majority of individuals that we meet, they share their life with others. They share their stories with others. They encourage them to enhance themselves in every area or every aspect of their life by sharing how to be realtors, how to become homeowners, how to maintain your businesses, how to start a businesses. And we don't have too much of that going on. And just sitting here listening to you mention the things that you have endured in your journey, just so overwhelming
Hmm.
in a positive way that it's encouraging other sisters that are coming behind you to hold their head up, to continue to move forward in their walk, in spite of what they have heard, what they have seen, even how they feel. Because I
Hmm.
can believe that a lot of times that you didn't want to do what you did,
Mm.
but you did it anyway.
Yes.
You make sacrifices to get where you at today, and you're still making sacrifices now as a black woman.
Hmm.
And
For
so
sure.
there's a lot of things that you try to put in the forth when you was in Baltimore, that you wanted to help your people, but the exhaustion from it, that seeing them not want to receive the help,
Yeah.
will
Right.
kind of push you to the side as well. But you
Hmm.
kept going. And woman of God, I just want to commend you for that. I just want
Hmm.
to say thank you for
Well,
giving us
thank
the opportunity to be a part of your story, to be a part of your journey.
Yes.
And we just continue to pray for you that you continue to move forward in every endeavor that comes your way or you choose to do. Because to me, there is no limit of what you can and what you cannot do. And I don't see you stopping no time soon. This is
right.
just the beginning of something that you're doing. So you're making another step towards getting closer to your next step of getting started. And so
Yeah.
I see that you use different avenues and different channels to get to where you're going at. And I love that about you. And we just want to just say thank you, woman of God.
Oh,
Just thank
well, I truly want to say thank you too, and I appreciate you inviting me on your show.
you. Yes.
Us getting to chat and get to know each other a little bit more. We've seen each other on several occasions out and about in
Yes.
the community and at different functions and events. So it's good when you get to kind of stop and take a moment to actually,
Yes.
Yes.
talk and get to know each other and just kind of glean on your experience and your glow as well. We all feed off of each other's energy, out here in the community. So I want to say thank you, and I really appreciate you and what you're doing by using this as a vehicle to connect with the community and to bring
Definitely.
people and their stories together.
That's it. That's it.
Yes, ma'am.
I know probably, like you say, as soon as I saw you, it's like I've been knowing you all my life. And I said to myself, she probably think I'm some strange person.
No,
Let me
certain
let
people.
me tell you who she thought you was.
I
Okay.
told her I
Oh,
thought I
you told
was,
her, you told
yeah.
her.
I thought it was the other young lady.
They do all the dancing. I forget her name. What other name is?
That
She got a haircut real low and she always dancing on the floor. No matter
uh-huh.
what song come on.
Celebrity or local person?
No, she be at Lee
Local.
Pitts. She be
She's
at Lee Pitts.
local. And you two always dance
Yeah.
together.
Oh yes, yes, yes. I know what you're talking about. And they told I don't want to get her name wrong, so
Right,
I don't
right,
want to.
right.
Right, right. Yes,
I
her.
know she has a short haircut.
Yes, yes.
Right.
Yeah,
And I said, honey, that's not her, honey. Yes, it is. I said, okay, go ahead on the action then. So
it
she
I,
asked you. You said, no, that's not me.
yes, 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 I see her often, and I'm just an energy person. So if I feed off of others' energy, if you're a good energy, if you're there having a good time, I'm there to have a good time too.
Yes,
We don't
yes.
know how long we're gonna be here, so sometimes we're here for a good time, not a long time. So you got to make it the best
Right, right.
while you can. So I'm
That's
about
it.
enjoying life and people, and really embracing people that embrace me,
That's
Right.
it. That's it.
and
We
that's a
love
lesson learned in life too.
yes. We love Fort Myers so much because we can take time to travel 2 hours down there and to think about the last event that he put on and how we enjoyed that, and then expecting more when we get there or what's taking place of being involved with our brothers and our sisters of the same.
Yes.
Mhm.
and to have a good time without any issues, any arguments, any circumstance taking place, where you can go and just be yourself and enjoy
Right.
yourself in a comfortable atmosphere. Come there safe and go back home safe. It's just truly, truly a blessing, because we don't see that much these days
No, you
now,
don't.
where
Right.
we all get together and have a good time, especially when there's fire water inside of the building, you know.
Mhm.
Hmm.
But it's just
Mhm.
truly, truly a blessing to have known, to have met you uh, through this, the great ladies, Tisha and Toya,
Yes,
through Lee
yes.
himself. It just, I mean, we met
Yeah.
so many awesome brothers and sisters right there at Lee Pit. I'm telling you, it's just truly a blessing. I mean, words can express how I feel, how my wife feel when we come there. This is the reason why we come there, because just to see all of us, man, just to see the high energy of people dancing, letting their hairs down, not worrying about their title, not worrying about who they are, just being free for that moment. And that's what it's
Absolutely.
all about.
Yes,
Absolutely.
it's been awesome. It
Yes, it
really
have.
truly has.
Yes,
We
it have.
we met some amazing people,
Yes.
and that's what I was telling my husband. I say the beautiful part about it. We've been doing hanging with the Walkers for a couple of years.
Okay.
We do a lot as far as relationships are concerned, whether it's singles, married, widow, divorce, sharing stories, being able to share, as I said earlier, how to hold it together, balancing marriage, business, friendship, and all of those things together. And then when we started, I told him, I said, we are surrounded by some amazing people, and everything we need is like right in our backyard.
Right.
Mentorship, same thing. So a lot of people's stories you really don't know. So we
Mhm.
reach out, whoever we're led to, we reach out, invite them on the show, and then sometimes they connect with other people to
Right.
get things done that they're looking for. As you said, DJ Skinny, Shorter Doo Wop. I like DJing, so I was able to connect with them, just on that premises to be able to do what it is that I love to do.
Mhm.
So we met some great people and made some good connections, and they've been able to connect some things together. So, but
Right.
we have just a few minutes. My husband is going to share a little words of encouragement.
Welcome to the second part of our segment of Forever Growing, and because you are forever growing. If I have a small topic for you on tonight, it would be the spirit of marriage.
Mm.
If I can give one piece of advice to a couple to help make their marriage successful and keep it successful, it's this: pray together and trust in the Holy Spirit. God never intended for us to be married without the presence and the power of the Holy Spirit helping us. God gave us many promises in Scripture, but a specific promise is given to couples. In Matthew 18 and 19, Jesus said, if two of you agree on earth concerning anything they ask, it will be done for them by
Hmm.
my Father in heaven. For where two or three are gathered together in my name, I am there in the midst of them. When Jesus said, if two of you agree, he's using the ancient Greek word symphonia, from which we get the word symphony. In sympathy, a variety of instruments tunes them together on the same frequency and play in harmony. Together, they make beautiful music. Jesus said that if a husband and wife synchronize their faith in agreement, if they pray together as a couple, the Father will answer that prayer. It's important to recognize that God makes promises for two of us that He doesn't make for one person alone. Why is this? I believe it because God doesn't want us to be alone. He wants us to come together as couples and as families. But the devil wants us to be ourselves, because the wolf always goes for the stray sheep.
Hmm.
When we are isolated, we are more easily discouraged. But the more we join our faith with other people, the more miracles God does. That's why the mark of the Holy Spirit, when you see unity, you know God has been at work. One reason that unity is, unity in prayer is so important is because the number one killer of marriage is stress. It's the top reason for illness and the number one reason for prescribed medication in America. Stress and anxiety deplete us emotionally. They rob us of energy to love each other, inability causing us to start fighting. Philippians 4, 6, and 7 says, be anxious for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication, with thanksgiving, letting your requests be made known to God. And the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your heart and mind through Christ Jesus.
Hmm.
In other words, my brothers and sisters, when we feel stressed or worried, that's when we should pray. When we are trusting, your worry list become your prayer list. If you're worried about money, about your kids, about your health, about your job, pray about those things. When we pray together as a couple, we are giving those worries to God. He promised to be present with us and to give us the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding. If you're anxious, it's because you're not praying. It was 7 years into our marriage that Barbara and I finally began to pray together.
Mhm.
That decision changed everything before. Then our relationship was filled with anxiety, stress, and emotional unhealth. But today we don't worry. When we experience the first hint of anxiety, we hold hands and we pray together. The peace of God has filled our home because of it. Our marriage flourished because we pray together. What about you? What about your marriage? What about your friendship? The promises of God are right there for you. All you have to do is claim them.
That's it.
Be blessed, my brothers and sisters, because you are forever growing.
Oh my goodness, I like that. And as I said earlier, we always like to share information, whether they're single, married, widowed, divorced. We never know who's going to watch the video live. We never know who's going to come on after the video has been posted. So we try to share information, and we encourage our listeners and our viewers to like and share the video, because some information may be something that will encourage them, that will bless them. And it's what we do and who we are.
That's it.
So we are so excited and so thankful that I got a chance to know the queen behind the smile.
One last question. One last question before you go, woman of God.
Uh-huh.
Is there anything that you can share during your walk, during your journey with those that are coming behind you? What will you say to them?
I would just say, again, I'm a huge person about energy, so not staying in those valleys, right? Redirecting that emotion, right? That negative emotion you might experience, or that negative situation you might experience. Taking that, redirecting that energy, and purposely making the decision not to stay in a low place, right? Do what you have to do. Connect with your friends, connect with community, call, ask help, get clinical help. Sometimes it's helpful to talk to people. So I would just say, stay encouraged. Don't stay in those low places. Redirect that energy when you're experiencing a challenge, because it's far more easier to navigate when you're, in a happy place, or in a peaceful place. Once we all get there. So that would be my best advice on, for those coming up behind me.
Well said.
That's
And I hope
it.
Well
that's
said.
helpful.
Well, very much so.
Definitely.
Very much so. Well said.
You heard it here live on Hanging with the Walkers with the one and only Tashawna Gaines. I'll say it again. DJ, Navy vet, mom, working on a PhD, sergeant, lieutenant, bachelor's degree in media, criminal justice, holding it all together. Nobody but Trouble T in the house
All
with
right,
us
you
on
gotta you gotta
tonight.
you gotta put some on that DJ. Now gotta put some
Gotta
on
put
there.
some respect on that
That's
name.
it. That's it. That's it.
Oh my God. Thank you. Thank you so
Thank
much for
you.
taking time out of your schedule and school to hang out with the Walkers on tonight.
Thank you so much. And thanks to all
All
your
right.
listeners and your viewers. I appreciate you
Oh,
guys.
thank
Yes,
you.
ma'am.
Look forward to seeing you soon.
Okay. Bye bye.
Okay, peace.
Peace.